Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina and today is a long-awaited TBR video. If you are new here, I have not been here for a few months and so I have missed out on a few months worth of TBR pics, which means that my jar is still very full of all of the prompts that I made in like April. This is still like a new idea to the channel, okay? Basically, as soon as I made the TBR jar is when I just stopped reading entirely, which was not a part of the plan, obviously, but I'm back, I'm better, and I'm ready to read whatever these prompts give me, though it still doesn't make me any less nervous. I've done this TBR thing a few times now, okay? Not consistently, but I have done it, okay? And every single time, it's a little nerve-wracking. I don't know why. It makes no sense. These are prompts that I made myself, but just not having full control of what I get to read as a mood reader, it's scary. But I'm doing this to get through my physical TBR, and as you guys know, based off of my book haul, that's very much needed right now because I have so many books that I own that I have not read and I need to get to them. So that's what this is for. And yeah, I'm very excited. Today is currently October 2nd, so it's still the beginning of the month. I usually try to pump these out like right when the month starts and film it the month prior so that I know what books I'm going to be reading, but this one was done kind of late, so, but it's okay. It's still pretty early in the month. I still have time to commit to the bit of doing this. Without further ado, let's just get started. Let me get the TBR jar. Ba-ba-da-da. It's my little cute TBR jar with all my prompts. Let's get started. Ooh, okay. Oh, it's dusty. That's how long it's been since I've done this. There's like dust collecting at the top of this. This is crazy. I usually only pick 5 prompts from the TBR jar because I on average read about 5 books per month. That's enough to get me through the spooky season month of October, which I'm very excited for. I'm kind of going to go with a theme this month, as long as my TBR jar lets me, of just picking books for the month that fit the theme of Halloween, October, spooky, fallish vibes, because that's really what I'm in the mood for. Fall is my favorite season of the year. It's when I get a lot of my reading done because I'm just like really excited to read books of that type, I guess, because it just feels weird reading them during any other time of the year. So while I'm picking books that fit the prompts, I also want to pick books that I know I'm in the mood to read. I don't know how those two things are gonna like clash or go against each other, but we'll see. Yeah, let's just get started with the first prompt, okay? Like I said, I've done this a few times already, but it's always nerve-wracking. It doesn't matter how many times I do it, it's just really scary. I went towards the bottom, so I don't really see what it is. It's still kind of crinkled. Let me put the jar down real quick. Okay, a YA romance. I have a lot of those. A lot of my TBR just consists of YA in general, but especially like YA fiction. And I'm in the mood for a romance, but I don't really know what I want to read on my shelf that's like spooky that fits that vibe, so I think I'm just gonna have to go with a straight up romance. I am choosing The Henna Wars by Adiba Haigirdar. This is the author of Honey and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating. I really enjoyed that book when I read it. At this point, I think it was like a little over a year ago, and I bought this book around the same time I finished that one because like something about the way this author writes sapphic romance it was just so wholesome and cute. I haven't picked it up since I bought it, obviously. So I'm actually very excited to read this. I haven't read any sapphic romances lately, so this could be a good pick-me-up compared to what I'm going to be picking hopefully for the rest of the month in terms of like prompts and books. This could be a little lighthearted fun. I don't know. Good pick so far. We're doing great. We're doing great. I keep a little bag full of previous prompts that I've picked before just so I don't pick the same ones by putting them back in the jar. And I don't know, the bag is getting pretty full. Like I said, I haven't done this that many times, but there are at least like when I started 30 prompts in here and picking 5 per month. Bag's getting pretty hefty. I'm gonna have to change it out. Okay. Here's another one. Again, they're all folded up, so I really don't know what I'm picking, but I hope it's something good. Ooh, another YA fantasy. Ooh, I don't really know what to pick based off of that, if I'm being honest, because a lot of the fantasy that I've been buying recently is pretty adult, so that's the stuff that I'm in the mood for currently, but that doesn't mean I can't read a YA fantasy because I do have a few to choose from. Question is, what will I pick? Okay, this one is kind of out of left field, I do admit, but I was looking through my physical TBR and I realized I really don't have as many YA fantasies as I thought I did. One of the few YA fantasies that I did end up finding towards the bottom of my shelf that I honestly forgot I had, The Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. Yee. This is in the Avatar: The Last Airbender world, one of the many books that they've been writing over the past few years about the previous avatars that came before Aang. You guys know I'm a big Atla fan. I love the show, I love the universe, all the characters, and I love me some Kyoshi. This is my girl. However, I have not read her duology. Don't judge me, but better late than never. I'm actually really excited to start this. Again, not what I was thinking about picking for this month, but this book has been collecting dust on my shelf for years now. It's actually ridiculous. And so I'm hoping to start this month officially. And I think I'm gonna love it because like I said, I love Kyoshi, so there's already some bias going into this. Kyoshi's story is always one that I've been kind of drawn towards because her in the Avatar: The Last Airbender show, whenever she makes her appearances, it's not often, but when she does, everything about her character is just so badass. So I would love to know more about her and her backstory and her lore, and yeah, I can't wait to read this. And then if I like it, I can read the sequel. So not that I own it, but if I like it, I will buy it and read it because that sounds like it's gonna be a good time. On to the third. My TBR is not looking the way I thought it would, I'm not going to lie, and now I'm kind of scared for how the rest of these picks are going to look because I had an idea in mind and it's just not getting unfolded. Unfolded. Book that matches the colors of your outfit. Forgot that I wrote this in there. I'm currently wearing a gray sweater, cardigan, black t-shirt, and denim oversized pants. So this is a very basic colored outfit. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what books I have that match my outfit. I'm gonna have to look real quick. Just random picks today. I don't really know what's going on for real, but let me just search. Okay, I did some digging and I think the book that I picked matches some of my outfit. It doesn't have the gray vibe, but it does have some blue and blacks, I guess. Yeah, I think that this matches. I picked A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the first book in the saga of the Unfated. I just recently hauled this actually, so I know that the first two books are out, but yeah, I don't know how long this is gonna be. All I know about this book is that it is an adult romantasy. I picked this book because I liked the sprayed edges, and one of my coworkers really loves Danielle L. Jensen's books, and so I asked her where I should start with this author because she talks so highly of Danielle L. Jensen that I was just curious, and she told me to start with this book without giving me any real description of it. So I'm going in blind, but that could be fun. It doesn't look to be that long. Let me actually check because I don't know. Yeah, it's a little over 400 pages. Doable. Just based off of the top of my outfit, it does not match at all. But if you look at how blue my pants are, you would be able to see that it does match. I swear I'm not BSing you right now. Yeah, to be honest, there were no other picks that went with this. I was almost going to pick a different book for this. I was almost going to pick The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang, but that would require for me to reread The Poppy War, and I'm just not in the mindset to reread The Poppy War right now. Me and R.F. Kuang, we're going through stuff at the moment. Just me personally not being able to pick up her books for some reason because I'm just not in the mood. So I almost picked The Dragon Republic, which would arguably be a better pick for the prompt, but that would be two books in one prompt, and that's not fair, guys. That's not fair. So yeah, Fate Inked in Blood. Cannot wait to start this. This is a weird TBR, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting to pick these books today, but it is what it is. Let's go on to the fourth one. Maybe I should start picking from the top. I've been picking from the bottom and they've been really weird, but I'm also kind of just shaking them around, so I don't know. I'm going for a top one. Okay. Please be a spooky one. A book that matches the season. guys, it was meant to be. It was meant to be. Are you kidding me? I don't really have a book in mind for this, I'm not going to lie. It's not a book that I own. It's a classic that I want to read this month. I am going to read the classic Frankenstein, 1818 text version of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I've never read Frankenstein, but I feel like now's a great time to do it. We're in spooky season. It is known as one of the classic spooky books of all time. Not spooky, but like, I guess like in the horror genre. I've heard great things about it forever. Everyone knows Frankenstein. Just because you know it doesn't mean you've read the story, and I am sadly one of those people who only knows the character of Frankenstein and not really the full story of it because I've never read it. And yeah, I have the 1818 text. I borrowed it from a friend, so it's technically not mine, and I also don't have it here with me at the moment, but it's one of the classics that I will be getting through this month. I have like multiple classics, I don't know why I said it like that. Multiple classics that I want to get to this month, but that one is definitely high on the priority sheet because it's Frankenstein and it matches the season. That one was such a good pick. I was getting so worried. I was like, am I not going to be able to read a spooky book this month or like fit it in to my itinerary of an already pretty long 5-book TBR? Now I don't even have to worry about that. That was perfect. I was worried for nothing. Maybe. I don't know. We still have one more prompt to get through. Last prompt of this video. This is scary. Okay, I'm not gonna dig too long. I'm gonna pick the first one that caught my eye based off of how it's folded. They're all folded the same though, don't mind me. I'm just being stupid. I'm not looking. A genre that you don't usually read. Interesting. I'm not sure why I wrote this, especially if it's something I want to get to on my physical TBR. I usually buy books that I read. I usually tend to stick to genres that I like. Not saying I don't get out of my comfort zone, but like usually if I do, it's not with books I own. So I'm gonna have to try to find that kind of book because I don't know. I have 2 ideas in mind. I have 2 ideas and they're very different from each other. They both fit the theme of like October and Halloween and spooky season though, so I'm gonna pick one of them. I just don't know what. Okay, so let me show you what I have in mind. I have 2 books. The first one being Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Ayemide, who is the author of Ace of Spades, one of my favorite YA books. It's one of the few murder mystery books that I've ever read, and I really enjoyed that one, and it's the only book I've read by her. I think it was her first novel, which I thought was very impressive because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and she came out with this book last year around October, and I meant to get to it. I never did. So this might be one because I usually don't go towards like murder mysteries because I think that this book is in the same realm of a girl going to a private school that recently had someone killed and she's somehow at the root of it, and it's just like everyone in the school trying to figure out who killed this person at this private school, and that could be fun. I might end up liking this. But then I also talk about a book that has been rotting on my shelves collecting dust for years. I have Tomi by Junji Ito. You guys know me. As much as I do enjoy manga, I'm not the most like avid manga reader. Like that's not really the genre that I would pick up and go to automatically. However, something about Junji Ito's stuff has always intrigued me a bit, and this book has been one that has been on my shelf for 4 years at minimum, and I've been saying for years that the only time I would probably want to read this is during spooky season. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, because if I do end up choosing this one, I can finally just knock it off the list because it's been on my shelf longer than this one. But also, I don't know, something about this one is just really calling to me. I don't know why. Okay, how about we eeny meeny miny mo, okay?
A few moments later.
Okay, it looks like I will be choosing this one based off of Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. This one won the count. This is gonna be my 5th TBR pick of the month, my last TBR pick of the month. It's been like years in the making leading up to me reading this, and yet I'm still like kind of scared and I don't know why. I need to take a deep breath. All I know about this book is that like Tomi, the main character, is like a femme fatale type character. She's like really pretty. A lot of people like her, but she just like kills people. Like, I think she's a serial killer. Is that not the premise? She can seduce nearly any man and drive them to murder as well, even though the victim is often Tomi herself. Oh, okay. So basically she seduces men and drives them like to murder her. That's not what I was expecting. Okay, so that's intriguing. Again, Junji Ito's books, every single like plot I've heard from each of Junji Ito's mangas have been so creepy and wacky, for lack of better words. So I think this is a good place to start, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty thick. It's a long one, so I know it's gonna take me like a few days maybe to get through it, but it doesn't make me any less excited. I will be putting this back on the shelf to read for another time, I guess. All right, people. So this is how my TBR is looking. We have the Henna Wars, Tomi, A Fate Inked in Blood, and The Rise of Kiyoshi, along with, of course, Frankenstein being my classic of the month. I'm still trying to stick to the classics thing. I think I told you guys this. I'm currently in the middle of reading 2 other classics though, so, but like I said, Frankenstein is the main priority. It's just a lot that I'm trying to read right now because it is nearing the end of the year and I really want to get through some books more than others at the moment. And again, these were not my picks that I was going for this month, but I'm not mad at any of them because a lot of these books have been on my shelf for way too long. I need to finish them or at least attempt to read them. If you guys enjoyed this video, thank you. If you'd like to follow me on my social media, it'll all be linked down in the description below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.